Today marks garden tour number 6. And in this first bed here, you can see that it has finally been amended and planted. And there's a lot of growth happening with the tomatoes. Planted some more tomatoes up front. There and there, and right there. They are all, well, this one here is the Dr. Witchies, which is a orange yellow beefsteak, and then those two are Kellogg's breakfast, which are also a yellow beefsteak. And then that there is a yellow scallop squash, and this one here is a white scallop squash. That looks like a grande jalapeno and a poblano. And then you can see on the trellis back there, the purple potted pole beans have reached the top, which is pretty awesome. Growth is happening. And over in this garden bed, still there's a lot of mushrooms that are popping up everywhere after it's been watered pretty thoroughly. Come on this way, Jackson. Yeah, look at all those mushrooms everywhere. I keep pulling them, but they keep coming back. I have one more tomatillo that I need to plant here, and that would be one that I started from seed. It was that last little one that actually took off, so it's doing pretty well. And we got some beets going right there, and in this little spot right here I planted some carrot seeds. Then we have some lemongrass, and that's fennel. And a new development in the asparagus bed, there is growth. That's the first one that's popped up, and then there's a couple little ones there and there. So asparagus is starting, which is pretty awesome. Got to get year 1 down so that we can get to year 2 and then finally year 3 so we can eat. Come on this way, Jackie. Come on this way. I literally just hand pollinated this squash right there. What is this? This is a crookneck early yellow. So, funny thing is, it doesn't have any male flowers yet. So I took the male flower from the golden zucchini over on the other side of the yard, and I pollinated this plant with that male flower, which is fine because it seems this first one I pollinated the same way and it's growing, so that worked just fine. And we've got little fruits that are starting to grow on all of the other plants, on a lot of the other plants anyway. These onions are doing okay. And we harvested the some of the garlic over there, the elephant garlic. Harvested some of those as an experiment. The first one was pretty big, and then the next few were kind of small, but we went ahead and took them up, and we left 1 or 2 of them in so that it could grow some more. Went ahead and planted the rest of the bush beans that I had started, and we'll see if those take off. So we'll have a whole bed full of bush beans, as well as all of these pole beans, which usually do really well. And then over in some of the other beds, the other bed over there, we have some bush beans that I've planted as well. Finally got the green stalk partially built anyway. So I have planted some of the miniature variety tomatoes. There's one of them. There's some parsley beside it. There's a small pepper plant. I think it's called the Phileas. No, that's the 5-color. There's another miniature variety tomato, and so is that one there. That's another pepper. And we have more. I think I planted like 9 miniature different varieties of the miniature tomato in the first 3 levels, and I planted some of the 5-color peppers, and I think 1 or 2 of the Phileas blue peppers, which are an ornamental pepper. And then on the top tier up here, I put some flowers, and I put some basil in on the other side. You just can't see it. It gets more shade than sun on the other side, so I thought that would be a good spot to put the basil. Anyway, I have a couple more tiers to fill over the weekend, and that'll finish up the green stalk. Anyway, I'm excited to see the green stalk grow. And over here, the succulents are doing well. This little bush, I forget what it's called, but this one here is growing very well. Everything is growing by leaps and bounds, as usual. As you can see, trellising has gone up all over the garden, even that back bed back there. Peppers are doing well over here. They are growing, and once again we have lots of mushrooms that are popping up, and this is the second time that I've seen a bee on those mushrooms, so they must be pollinator attractors, which is good for the garden. Lots of tomatoes are showing flowers, so those are all good signs. I've got some sunflowers popping up in different places. There's one over there also. These ground cherries are still, they're growing, but slowly. Looks like this one has a little bit of fruit set on it, as well as a roly-poly. They are what's eating my entire garden. They are the culprits, and they must die. If I see them, I squash them. Anyway, I'm still pulling aphids off of the tomatoes, but the invasion is not too bad. I think I'm winning. They're still alive, but I'm getting the majority of them. Anyway, there's some flowers, and the strawberries are doing okay over there. Some of the new plants are starting to grow now. They've taken to the transplant, so they're doing okay. I still have a bunch of peppers that I need to plant somewhere. And I have one little strawberry seedling that has popped up from the seeds that I purchased. I've got a bunch of celosia that have germinated, and looks like 1 or 2 of the citronella balms have germinated as well, and 1 peony it looks like. So things are happening slowly. The nasturtiums are starting to bloom. That's a really beautiful color. And then over here we've got a deeper orangish red color. This was the first one to bloom right here. This garden bed is doing well. This is definitely not a cucumber, as I said last time. I do believe it is the lemon squash, but the cucumber is growing, and that is the Boston pickling right over there. And I forgot to show you the little seedlings that have lived for the China Jade cucumbers. There's one there and one there. They finally made it, so that's awesome. And then there's this one here that's starting to take off now, and then I put a Chinese red noodle bean right there. So the other ones I planted inside of some grow bags that I hung on the trellis in the backyard. So that'll be a nice little experiment to see how they grow in mostly shady conditions. Anyway, these blue creams and Brad's Atomic are doing okay, and these 3 here are the Roma. This little one, I don't know, it's the smallest one, but it's growing. It's not growing, it's just not growing very fast. Not at the same rate as the other 2 here. But this is the bed where I planted the other bush beans. There's a few right there, and a few here. I think I planted the white scallop, white scallop squash back there. I do have some celosia back there that have sprouted, but they are taking so long to grow. So this little planter is doing well, where the red Japanese maple is doing really well. And sorry guys, I'm all over the place. The purple magnolia tendril snap peas are finally starting to set fruit. Look, it's a purple pea pod, although some of them are green. There's one right here that's green, and so some of them, they're not all purple, but that's okay. Then I put another, that's a costata romanesco, and I think I put another one, I can't remember where I put them. I think up in the front bed is where I put the other 2. But these tomatillos are doing just fine in this shady spot, so that's good. Let's see, these 3 sunflowers, these are the burgundy sunflowers, they're doing okay. I threw those green stakes over there. I need to prop them up with the green stakes, because every time it rains. Jackson, come here, Bubba. Come here. Come on this way. Come on this way. Come on, Bubba. Come on back this way, the way you came. Come on. Good boy. Every time it rains, they kind of droop down. Anyway, I don't know if I've ever shown you guys. This is one of my wind chimes. I thought it was super cute. I got it at the Christmas tree shop. That's one of them. Anyway, so all of these miniature variety tomatoes are not so miniature after all. I mean, I don't expect them to get super huge like the other varieties, but they are nonetheless a little bit larger than I expected them to be, which is okay. It's fine. It's my first time growing them. What is he doing over here? Jackson, come on. Come on. The chickens haven't been let out yet. Let's see how the potatoes are doing. They're making it, but they have a lot of bug damage and they need more soil. They all need more soil. So I think there's a slug. There's a slug on that leaf. So that's some of the bug damage. This is just a very wild section of the yard. Alright, so yesterday I was shopping at Aldi and I found this adorable treasure. It's a mason jar planter pot. It's a watering one where you can water it and it has that little plate. Anyway, I transplanted 2 of the miniature variety tomatoes. They're called Isis Candy. They were the 2 that I had set aside. Here's the other one. They were the 2 that I had set aside for gifts. One for my nephew's window and one for my brother's kitchen window. And I was really excited about that find, so I purchased 1 each. Anyway, these here are San Marzanos, and they're doing okay. They have little flowers that are getting ready to open. This one here also, and that one, and this one too. All 4 plants have little flowers, and these it's just a really shady section of the yard, so these marigolds aren't really, they're kind of leggy. They're trying to grow upwards to get the sun. Update on my rose bushes. These are the Sensation. On the last video I think I said that this plant was more vibrant than this one here. I think that's only true for newly opening flowers like that one there, because once they open the colors become more muted and they don't fully open, which is fine. It's no problem. I actually really like the look. It kind of reminds me of a peony, I think I'm saying that right. Yeah, so I'm fine with it, but I just wish the color was more vibrant, like the video, not the video, like the photo led me to believe when I purchased it from QVC. But anyway, can you see the colors? I'm not sure if they're quite as vibrant on camera as they are in real life. I wish there was smell-o-vision, because they smell awesome. Anyway, this little pot that I planted with this geranium here in the center, it's starting to grow out shoots, so it'll have little flowers like the other one had, still has actually. But I just want to show you how full this creeping Jenny has become. I don't know if you remember a couple weeks back, maybe 2 or 3 weeks back, when I first planted the pot, the creeping Jenny was kind of, it looked like it was just barely hanging on. Come on, Jackie, this way. Anyway, it has taken root and it's growing very full, so I'm happy with the way that plant looks. This is more creeping Jenny that I need to find a home for. I purchased 4 more little pots of it. Someone said the other day I think just a woman that I came across at either Home Depot or Lowe's. I think it was Lowe's where I purchased these. She just mentioned that they will come back the next year. So I'm hoping our winters are mild enough that it will come back, because I really like that creeping Jenny. This is where I planted the other costata romanesco and the other one here. So I'm gonna have 2 of those. I took up some of the peppers, 1 on each side, to put into the green stalk. So that's why I had an open spot to put these squash plants. Plus I needed a home for them anyway. This is one of the miniature variety tomato plants. Also, it's called the mini bell, and it's doing really well. I really like the mini bell. This is also a mini bell. Not quite doing as well as the other one, but still, it's okay. Looks like it's got some aphids on it, and that's probably why it's not doing quite as well. Anyway, yeah, all of these are doing really well. Those back there are the Green Doctor grape tomatoes. They're either grape or cherries. I think they're grape. And then one of these is a blue, I think it's this one here. It's a blue cream grape tomato. So this one kind of is growing a little wonky. It kind of set off a second branch, and I could cut it off now, but I already let it grow so this far, so might as well let it keep growing and have 2 branches of it, seeing as how I have all this space right here in the center. It may not be a lot of space after all once they become mature and start growing some more. Anyway, the fig tree is doing well, and it's got some new growth on it everywhere. And then I have all of these little flowers that I planted in here. I forget what they're called already, but they're growing. The lilies are, I don't know, I feel like they're starting to die back a little, these calla lilies, but they're still beautiful, really beautiful. And this is the golden zucchini. There's 2 of them, 2 plants, and one of these here is a female plant, which I just hand pollinated. That's the stamen from the male flower that I pollinated it with, and it is pollinated with its own male flowers, so it should be fine. Oh, what's going on with this pepper plant over here? Somebody, oh, it's just nothing. There's nothing wrong with it. Alright, well, that's pretty much garden tour week number 6. We got some stumps from my brother's house and brought them over, and that's a bowl. I actually ordered a 2-pack and only received 1, so I called West Elm, where I ordered it from, and complained, so they're sending me another 2-pack. And they said, don't worry about sending the other one back. That's your gift from us for having to deal with this problem. So the other part of the problem was that they didn't have this color available anymore. It was sold out, so I had to go with the brown. So they're sending me a 2-pack of the brown. But anyway, my plan for this pot is to create a succulent garden, and the other 2, when they arrive, I have no idea what I'll do with it, but probably more succulents, because I'm really loving the succulents these days, and they'll be growing. I'll be growing a lot of them soon, hopefully from seed. I ordered a bunch of seeds, so we'll see how that works out. Anyway, garden tour week number 6, and this is what it looks like. It's starting to become a lot of green, and I love it, with a few little pops of color here and there. German thyme is starting to come back after I almost killed it off by harvesting it last fall. And there's some more color right there. Hopefully these two will come back